Hello and welcome to another Anthony Scouts episode. Yeah, glad to be here for another episode. Um, a lot's happened. A lot is happening. Um, as we all seen, a lot to discuss. Especially at Manchester United, my well-renowned, famous club, which is in a bit of a rut right now and a bit of a mess. Um, and as we've seen, as you all may have heard, Ten Hag has been sacked. Um, the inevitable has come. The day has come. The writing was on the wall. Um, like I've said before, I'm never one to never want to call for managers to be sacked. Don't like seeing managers sacked. Don't like seeing managers lose their jobs. But this. The writing was on the wall on this one. As much as I liked Ten Hag, on a you know as a person, um, he just I don't think he got to grips with the job. I don't think he got to grips with the demands of the Premier League. I don't think he got to grips with the demands of being the Manchester United manager. In the first season, we thought, he got us a trophy, he got us finishing third, especially in the mess that we were in before he came in. And when he gave him that famous quote that City and Liverpool done well and how they've dominated, and all errors come to an end. You thought, yeah, okay, this guy has the pedigree. This guy has the minerals. This guy has the the character and the charisma to take United back to where they belong. He won the trophy, finished third. I thought it was an excellent. It was a really enjoyable season, beating Barca, beating City like we did, beating Tottenham. All those complete performances. We were thinking, okay, you know. And then second season happened. A lot of injuries and um, it just everything just went to crap. Just went into a mess. Um, I don't know what it was. You can say we had too many injuries, but that would be too much of an excuse. Um, to be honest, tactically tactically Ten Hag got it wrong. Um, it was the same issues over and over again. Same issues that uh, derived from last season, and we've seen it 9 games into the season. It's the same issues that are occurring. No progress, no improvements. And he had to go, unfortunately. Um, what was frustrating is that every time he said it was a process, every time he says that he will get, but the same things were occurring. And I would have loved, you know, if we were in a bad spot, if we were in a bad spell, you see the plan, you see the tactical, um, imprint on the team. You see what he's trying to do in terms of play style and getting the fans on side, and it just didn't happen. I wanted to see the big picture. I wanted to see the process. I wanted to see, things coming together. Like I said in one of my previous episodes, I like when a team is in a bad spell, and a manager brings everyone together again and improves things, and then they enjoy a span of success in terms of position and tactical imprint, impact on the club, impact on the fans, improving in the Premier League and getting domestic success. um Something like Arsenal, something where Arsenal finishing eighth, and then going on to finish, third, second, and then becoming now real title contenders. So, that's that sort of progress I thought we were going to be seeing under Ten Hag. But again, it just wasn't the case. And it's a real shame. Um, I feel sorry for him, and farewell to him. He did give us some good times, some really enjoyable games we had under him. But again, the tactical fit wasn't there. He wasn't there tactically. The space in the midfield, You know, as a manager, you're supposed to provide your team with the tactical conditions to thrive. Give them the right balance, give the team the platform, your best players. Improve your foot, improve your players tactically, improve your players at a personal level. It's the same issues. You see players coming up and then players regressing. Players, once they got injured, you never see them recover again. It was a real issue. The fact that he had to sack his assistants and coaches that he brought in initially, and then bring in Van Nistelrooy and Rene Herco was, so that was a problem in itself for me. As much as I'd love to see Ruud back in the job, getting his, sacking Mitchell van der Gaag and getting Ruud in and Rene Herco, and overhauling your whole coaching structure. That's issues in itself. And that just went to show that Ten Hag, so much uncertainty at managerial level. Um, how can a club move on from that? How can the club find some consistency in performances, in the tactics, in ideas and philosophy? And there just wasn't none. What was Man United's style of play? What was our style of play under Ten Hag? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I can't tell you plainly. Um, you know, so much uncertainty, and I know the injuries were a problem. I know the injuries were a huge setback. But even then, when you got injuries, you know, you get your players to, everyone knows their jobs, everyone knows their roles, everyone knows the tactics at hand, everyone knows the philosophy, everyone knows what the plan is, what's the game plan. We don't have our best players, but how can I get the players that I do have at my disposal to perform consistently? That was Ten Hag's problem. He didn't have it. He didn't have that. He didn't have that character. Um, even there was no plan B when he had a plan, and it didn't come to fruition. There was no plan B. There was no alternative, and that was his problem. You just couldn't get a grip on the job. There were some good moments, but that's it, just moments. Um, yeah, it had to be done. And yeah, people can argue, INEOS should have sacked him after the FA Cup final, and I agree with that. Now that's because I backed him in the summer. I thought, I want to see us stick with a manager even when things are going wrong. I want to see us stick with a manager and believe that he can go on and improve things, improve fortunes, and actually take a stand, and put his imprint on the team, from a tactical standpoint, from in terms of bringing the best out of his best players, and performing consistently, challenging top four consistently. But look where we are now, where we're in the 14th in the table, 3 wins from 9 games, 8 goals scored, -3 goal difference, 11 points from a possible 27. Shocking form. Especially after 200 million pounds spent, the same. We're getting the same issues. We're getting the same tactical issues. We're seeing the same problems on the pitch. It had to be done. INEOS had to had to will the eggs, and it was the right decision all around for me, personally. And I'm sure that's the case for a lot of United fans. But again, I just hate seeing managerial merry-go-round, and this manager getting the chop, this manager getting the chop. I just want some consistency. I just want a manager that's going to be there for 4 or 5 years, and give some sustained success, give him proper impact. A manager that's building a project that you can believe in, a project that you can say, oh yes, we may be losing 2 or 3 games, but I'm seeing the plan. I'm seeing the purpose of what he's trying to do. I'm seeing his philosophy. I'm seeing his imprint on the players. You just didn't get that with Ten Hag. Um, and it's too much inconsistencies. We'll win 2 games, we'll lose 3 games, we'll win. There's it's never um, um, a period where you say, "Oh, we're unbeaten. We're playing some good football. No one can stop. No one can beat us." And for me, that's my main problem. For me personally, I like to see my teams, defensively solid. We're not gonna get beaten today. We're hard to beat. We'll go into every game thinking you're not gonna score, or you may attack us at something, but you're not gonna breach. You're not gonna breach our defense. The team was just too soft, too soft, and I don't think Ten Hag had that you know that nous to get the team consistently good. And to be honest, there was some moments where we were defensively good. We'll keep clean sheets. We had the most clean sheets last season in the Premier League, but when we were defensively good, we can't score. When we score, we can't defend. There was no balance, no there's no middle ground. And that's the problem. That's Ten Hag's problem. Um, and that's ultimately what's led to this decision now. Um, you know, bringing players in, that he knew whether it was the right strategy or not is just it's a stick that we can beat him with now because he's got the sack. Um, but yeah, but it just didn't work in the end. It, too much inconsistencies, too much tactical issues that are recurring again and again. It couldn't find. You changed the managerials, you changed his coaching staff, changed, brought in some players, and still the same issues. That's it just had to be. And I mean, I'm sorry for him. You know, sorry I had to come to this point, but such is the grueling nature of the Premier League, such is the grueling nature of being a manager these days. If you're not getting results, this is results business. If you're not getting results, your job is on the line. And unfortunately for Ten Hag, that's the case. He's got the sack. But then soon after, we've got news um, about sporting manager Ruben Amorim, United working on the deal. To get him in as Ten Hag's replacement. And when the story came out, I was shocked. I had my 3 candidates, my 3 preferred candidates. It was Seb Holness from Stuttgart, who I think is one of the best and most brilliant young minds in the game right now. The way he's got his Stuttgart playing football right now is unbelievable. We've seen some impressive performances from Stuttgart against Juventus, Real Madrid, even when they lost 3-1. They battered Dortmund 5-1 early in the season, I think. You know, I think they got a win over Bayern as well. You know, a manager that's getting a team to push above their weight and actually compete against the elite. Actually sustain some kind of momentum against the elite. Actually have a team that's okay. There's a period. There's a large period of a game where the team is dominating the biggest teams. Seb Holness has done an incredible job at Stuttgart, taking them from relegation threatened to Champions League nights now. Which is incredible job. But it's just the tactics and his charisma and his character and the way he's carried himself, even when there were struggles, um, um, when he got the job. You just knew that there was something special was brewing at Stuttgart. A manager like that is someone I felt United could have looked at. Seb Holness, Julian Nagelsmann. We already know how good Julian Nagelsmann is. Um, Fantastic manager. A manager you can say he's got that charisma. He's got that character. He's got that personality to thrive in the big leagues, to thrive in the big clubs. Yeah, it didn't work out at Bayern, but for me personally, I thought he should have got more time. I personally think Bayern threw the kitchen sink too early. Um, I think I think he was actually perfect for the Bayern role. Um, and maybe the players just you heard reports the players just didn't get to grips with Ten Hag's I mean sorry Nagelsmann's system, which I thought was a bit strange because with Nagelsmann's system it's the system that determines the players, or he's not his system's not reliant, or his philosophy is not reliant on individual quality. It's the system that platform the players, not the players platforming the system. um and that's Ten Hag's problem. That's another one of Ten Hag's problems. His philosophy not platforming his players. He's relying on individual quality, and that can only get you so far. That can only get you to what, 2 or 3 years in the job. If your tactical imprint and philosophy is not bringing the best out of your players consistently, it's not sustainable. But these managers, Seb Hornus, Julian Nagelsmann, I even had Thomas Frank on my list. I think he is one of the most underrated coaches out there. I think he could do wonders at a team like Inter. I think he's in a similar mold to Simone Inzaghi. I think they're similar tactically. So dynamic, and they may be pragmatic, but you enjoy the football being played. Um, they've got a set system, the high intensity pressing. Everything is control. Everything is constructed beautifully. It may seem defensive to the naked eye, but when you look at the intricate details of Brentford and Inter, there's so many similarities, but it's so exciting. Thomas Frank was certainly one on my list. Again, another one that he's got a different pedigree to his or he's got different ideas to get the best out of his players. We see Brentford, they're so good at set pieces. Even them, um scoring goals as soon as they kick off, which is mightily impressive. Their transitions, the way they build up from the back, the high pressing is aggressive. You're going to war against Brentford, especially at the GTEC Stadium. That's what I love. You see that every game. Brentford may be losing 3 or 4 games in a row, but you know what Thomas Frank's gonna do. You're gonna be in a battle with him. You're gonna have to pull up something special out of the bag to beat Brentford. And that's a credit to Thomas Frank. And I think there's always a thought in me when I watch Thomas Frank and Brentford. I always think, imagine if Thomas Frank had better quality at his disposal. That's why he's got to be tipped for the likes of Inter and United, the big clubs. You know what I mean? Even Atletico could consider him if Diego Simeone calls time in the next couple of years or so. I think Thomas Frank is ready for a big club. And he did say during the summer that you know, sometimes the grass isn't always greener. Once you get to that green, the grass where you feel is greener, and you find there's weeds. He did say that over the summer, and that is true. But I do feel he's ready for greener pastures. I do feel he's ready for a bigger platform. But yeah, moving on to Ruben. Those are my 3 candidates: Seb Holness, Nagelsmann, Thomas Frank. These are someone. Any one of those 3 that could have been appointed, I've been very happy. But I was never expecting Amorim, and that's not to say that I don't like him. I love him. I love Amorim personally. I love his tactical innovation. I love what he's doing at Sporting with the 3-4-3 system. Building up from the back. It's just aggressive, pressing. And there were certain points last season where Sporting weren't as high intensity as people made out. He had to adapt. But yeah, this season they've come out the blocks, firing. Sporting have I think won 9 from 9 in the league already. Scored 31 or 30 goals, and only conceded two goals. They've come out the traps firing, and again, that's a testament to Ruben Amorim. He's finding new ways to innovate. He's finding new ways to get his team playing football to the best of their ability, platforming his best players. You see Victor Gyökeres, Goncalo Inacio, Usman Diomande, Martin Hulmand. Um, they got some lovely young talents as well. Quenda, he's a wide threat. Marcus Edwards, Francisco Trincao. These are guys that were on the fringes of former teams in the past, but now performing consistently in a team that has a plan, and a team that has a tactical imprint. Every game you watch, what they're gonna do. You know the problems they're gonna cause to teams, and that's the foundations that Amorim has brought to Sporting. I feel he's an excellent coach. I, I would love him at Old Trafford, but I wasn't expecting it due to the fact that what happened over the summer, when he left Sporting. He left Sporting, against their wishes, or without their knowledge, and he went to go and partake in an interview with West Ham for the West Ham job, which was quite weird, to be honest. When I saw the reports about it, I was thinking, okay, I'm Rim. That's not someone I thought I'd think could do that. But yeah, he apologized. And he said that something this season, Sporting are going to do something special. So I believe, okay, he's not going to move this season. He's going to stay at Sporting for another year. He's going to do something special. He's going to win a third league title. In 4 or 5 years, which is mightily impressive. Before he came in, Sporting hadn't won the league in 19 years. Their last league title was in 2002 before he came in 2020. Since 2020, they've won 2 league titles. They've won 3 domestic cups. They've been dominant, up against FC Porto, up against Benfica, up against Braga, his former club, where he won the domestic trophy again. So he won a domestic trophy with Braga. He did really well at Braga. I feel that's why he made his name at Braga. But yeah, I do feel Amorim is ready for the elites. I do feel he's ready for the elite teams. Again, people will say it's a risk. He's taking on a job in a league that he may have no knowledge about, in a league that is a different beast to the Primera Liga. It's a different beast to to what we've got in England, even the Championship. Premier League is like the Eredivisie. People may argue. United fans may argue. Those that are skeptical about Amorim's appointment may say, it's just the same as Ten Hag. When Ten Hag came in, we thought, oh, perfect for us to move forward, and can say, Eredivisie is not the same level as Premier League, so it'll be hard for him to adapt. That may be the case for Amorim, but for me, it's about the manager themselves and how they carry themselves in when despite the knowledge of a league being as difficult, as harder than what you faced before. It's about how a manager carries themselves, the charisma, the character, and how they have an impact on the dressing room, how they impact the players in terms of tactics, in terms of getting them on side, in terms of building relationships. And I thought Ten Hag did that, but again, there was this. He did lack something in terms of his presence to the media. People, I'm seeing a lot of journalists saying that Ten Hag is very personable, very approachable, but he lacked that fire. He lacked that fire in his belly to be a United manager. I do feel Amorim's got that. We've seen it on the touchline time and time again with Sporting. The guy he's a fire. One word to his players that can light a fire in them, and you see a totally different Sporting when things are going against them. That wasn't the case with Ten Hag. We saw it on Sunday against West Ham. So many chances in the first half. We could have been 3 or 4 goals up, but when it didn't happen, you'd expect your manager to now find something, to do something, to innovate and try and find a winner somewhere. United regressed. You know, there was nothing in the second half. West Ham came out and started looking like Barcelona, and I was thinking, what the heck is going on? We were supposed to be building on from the first half, which we dominated. We should have been 3 or 4 goals up. It's like the players gave up. It's like the players did not believe in what Ten Hag was trying to do, and that was Ten Hag's problem. He couldn't grab. He couldn't grab what he had at his disposal. He couldn't grab it and make it his. That was his problem. No plan B, no alternative in terms of, if okay, my players are not scoring, but how can I now shore up things to ensure that even if we're not scoring, we're not going to lose. When it got to halftime 0-0, United fans, you say to yourself, "Oh, United are going to lose this 1-0. Watch, we lost. What happened? We lost 2-1." Yeah, the penalty at the end was controversial. It should have been a penalty. It's a ridiculous decision. The quality of refereeing in this country is a shambles, if I'm being honest. I did not think that was a penalty. And everyone is in agreement with that. Even Howard Webb, who's in charge of the VAR and all that stuff, even he's got to think, what is my referees doing here? That is nowhere near a penalty. It's a ridiculous decision. I do not know how they came to that decision, but going back to Ten Hag and his issues, when we're 0-0, we haven't scored, yeah, we're disappointed. We're disappointed. Let's go back out there and try again. Light a fire in those players to go out there and try again and do things. Create chances and see if they can score. If you don't win, you don't win. But at least you've shown, the players have shown, okay, things are going against us, but we're fighting. We're fighting. We didn't get that every game at United. We do something so great, and then the next minute, we're in our shells. We're too soft. We're getting beaten easily, or we're getting battered in the first half. We show some fight, but then it's not enough. It's too late. It happened too many times under Ten Hag, and that was his problem. That was his issue. Even the fact that defensively we're too fragile. We're not scoring enough goals. I don't think United have scored more than 3 goals under Ten Hag's tenure up to 10, more than 10 times. Even I don't even think it reaches 10, which is appalling. You're Manchester United. No matter how bad things are, you're supposed to be battering teams. You're supposed to be, getting results. Where you're dominant, and that wasn't the case on the 10. So many games, much of his 85 games, there's only 3 or 4 that we can pick out and say United were dominant for 90 minutes. There's only 3 or 4 games out of Ten Hag's 85 in charge where we can say United were totally dominant, and that's appalling. I'm sorry, that's appalling. And I feel that's something Amarim can come in and fix. Yeah, it's not going to be something that happens overnight, but I do feel he's got the personality, he's got that charisma, he's got that character, he's got that fire in his belly to ignite something in those players on a consistent basis. We can go into matches and say this is how United's going to play. What these players need is direction. What these players need is a clear plan. What these players need is discipline. Ten Hag gave that, but there wasn't discipline in the tactics. There wasn't discipline on the pitch. There was discipline off it, but it didn't translate on the pitch. It didn't translate on it consistently. And that's what our next manager's got to do. The players need a clear plan. They need a clear direction. They need somewhere, something they can believe in as a unit. I do feel Ruben Amorim is perfect for that. I do feel he will incorporate that. I know nothing's confirmed yet. We have had widespread report about United negotiating a fee with Sporting, and whether they can agree compensation, and agreement in principle reached between United and Amarim. Things can change. We've seen that so many managerial these appointments change. The manager agrees deals and all that stuff, and then something happens that managers change their mind, they want to stay in the end, or you know, Amarim was talked up as a possible successor to Guardiola. Um, when City announced that the Hugo Viana, Sporting's current sporting director, will be their new sporting director next season. Amarim would have been the first pick, the first choice if Guardiola left next season. Um, which again is a testament to his credentials, a testament to his managerial quality, is a testament to how good he's seen in the game and seen in Europe. And the fact that United are trying to pull him up is a massive coup. Um, is a massive coup, and but these things can still change. Yeah, it looks like we're getting him, but nothing's guaranteed yet. But I'm really hoping, he is the manager. Because I initially thought beforehand, it's going to be difficult to get a permanent manager, and it's going to be difficult to follow up Ten Hag with a permanent manager that's something that something that someone that INEOS likes, someone that INEOS has picked out, data led, data driven, in terms of he's the right replacement, the right man to get United playing the you know playing consistently, performing consistently. So I was shocked when reports came out that United were in talks with Amarim to get him in. I did think he was gonna stay another season at Sporting, try and win the league again. But yeah, I'm massively excited. I'm massively intrigued. I love this appointment if it was to happen. Um, and I'm a huge fan of Amarim. Always been, even in his Braga days. Um, he's got the right tactical mind. He's a brilliant mind. He's a brilliant coach. Like I said before, he's got the charisma. He's got the character. He's got the personality as well. Um, his tactics are enthralling. That sporting. They're exciting to watch. Aggressive. The way the combinations in the middle, the way they build up from the back, with the 3-4-3, the three man, 3-2-5 in terms of the build up, the three at the back, the two midfield, the two pivots, one who's a ball winner, Manuel Ugarte. Um, he made his name under Amarim, that's Ineos will have certainly picked out Ugarte and thought, yeah, we're signing him for Ten Hag, but really we want him for Amarim. We put Amarim as the best candidate to lead him forward, and that's what's happening right now. Well, hopefully it's gonna happen, But yeah, Amarim loves his ball winners. He wants a ball winner, wants a player that can box crash, and a player that can operate in the middle third, and he's press resistant, can progress the ball. This copy menu, hopefully. And then he's 3-4-3, two tens, and a striker, or two wingers, two out and out wingers, and then wing backs. And I feel that's one of the only issues I think we got with the appointment of Amarim. Who's going to be our wing backs? People can say Dallo and Mazraoui, and of course, they are the most notable picks right now, especially as the only ones that are fit, the only ones that are playing football right now, the only fullbacks that are fit for us. Luke Shaw and Malacio, God knows where. But yeah, I do feel Mazraoui and Dallo are obvious, but the wing backs in Amarim system is hugely demanding physically. Have we know Mazraoui's record. We know Dallo hasn't played as a wing back for much of his career, so that will be something that he's got to get used to. That's the only blot on this possible appointment. Who's going to be the wing backs. So again, it's a problem. It's a possible problem if he's appointed. But like with all managerial appointments, there's always got to be something that's up in the air. There's got to be a facet that's uncertain. Um, and that's something that, like I said before, Amorim he's a highly adaptable manager. So there's no guarantee that he's going to come in and it's going to play a 3-4-3 or 3-2, 3-4-2-1. You could change the back four. You could, you could adapt and play to the strengths of the players at his disposal. But I do feel we've got the right profiles to play a three at the back. We've got Lenny Euro, who's coming back from injury over the next month, which is fantastic. So we could have a Lenny Euro, Mateus De Ligt as a the middle centre back with Lissandro Martinez as an LCB and as a wide LCB, wide left centre back, which is perfect for him. It's just those wing backs. We could have Ugarte and Menu, to play in Amorim's system, to thrive in Amorim's system. You need to be physically, physically spot on. You need to be running for 90 minutes straight. Ugarte and Menu, I think are the ideal candidates. But yeah, there's so many talents in the squad. Amad Diallo will be perfect for that right wing spot, or that right number 10 spot in the team. Perfect for it. We got Amorim's already got players like Francisco Trincao and Marcus Edwards, who are a similar profile to Amad Diallo. Creative number 10s, and can perform as a out and out winger, or can perform as a creative winger, a winger that operates in the half spaces, a winger that can play in small spaces, thrive in small spaces, get out of small spaces, create in small space, create when there's so much going on in the final third. A player that can create something out of nothing. But again, where does Bruno Fernandes fit in? Where does Marcus Rashford fit in? I feel Rasmus Højlund will be perfect for Amorim. Amorim loves his players, loves his strikers to be central, loves his strikers to be at the focal point of the attack, to play in the width of the goal. The way he's got Victor Gyökeres scoring goals for fun is crazy, and that's not just because of Victor Gyökeres' talent. It's because of Amorim's tactics platforming him, giving him the best conditions to score goals at an alarming rate. And that's something Højlund could do with right now, because United are struggling we're creating chances, but we're struggling to score. There was a point last season where we're struggling to even create chances. But Amorim's system, it's a system that generates chances through the structure, through the fluidity, the flexibility, and if he's to adapt to a four-man defensive system, we'll see what that system looks like. But he's got the profiles to play a three at the back if he wanted to. It's just trying to find the right mix at wing back. Who's going to be the two number 10s or wingers per se? If it's a 3-4-3 or it's a 3-4-2-1, who's going to be the two number 10s, Bruno and Diallo, or where does that leave Rashford and Garnacho? But so many options for Amorim to work on if he is appointed. So nothing's guaranteed yet. But yeah, I'm in love with this appointment. I love this appointment. I'm excited about this potential appointment, and I hope INEOS can get it done quickly. Massive fan of his, and yeah, and you're so intrigued by it. But yeah, moving on. Another crazy topic that's going on right now, and which is the issue of the Ballon d'Or. We've seen Rodri pick up the award, and to be honest, it's deserved. If I'm being honest, I do feel I do feel Rodri's been incredible over the past few seasons for Guardiola. For me, I was expecting Vinicius. Um, I felt this is Vinicius's year. Um, I felt he was the outstanding candidate for the award. But and when I read, hours before the ceremony, that his camp believed that he wasn't going to win it, I was shocked. I was shocked, and I was thinking, okay, if he's not going to win it, then what's the Ballon d'Or for? Because Rodri didn't pick up a Champions League medal. He wasn't the best player. He wasn't. He may have picked up a winners medal for Spain in the Euros, but he wasn't their best player. He didn't even play in the. He only played 45 minutes in the final. Um, yeah, he won the Premier League with City, but he also lost the FA Cup. You know, there's more cons in terms of Rodri winning it than Vinicius. There's more things. There's more arguments against Rodri winning it than there was for Vinicius. We know the Ballon d'Or. They brought up three categories. I think number three was number one was individual performances and impact on the team. I can't remember what number two was, but number three was fair play and a class act on the pitch or something like that. For me, Vinicius fitted all three categories. I can't remember what number two was when it's precisely, but he was a class act on the pitch. People may argue when he's racially abused and when he's all riled up, and but when you're facing adversity like he has over the past 20, over the calendar, throughout the calendar year, you know he's conducted himself brilliantly. He's fought up against adversity. The way he's carried himself in terms of he's getting criticized in the media. He's been grace. He's shown grace. He's shown character. He's shown um you know there wasn't after all that, he's got to be the perfect candidate to win. you know and please, and this is not me discounting and discounting and knocking Rodri as a winner. I love Rodri. I've said it before in here. I love my number six. He's as dominant as he is. No, don't think I've seen a number six as good as Rodri since Busquets. Um, and no, fair play to him. Congratulations to him. Huge congratulations to him. Um, for what has been given, for what has happened, he deserves it. But initially, I was expecting Vinicius to win it. I thought he was outright the best candidate, not just for what he's achieved on the pitch for Real Madrid, but how he's carried himself off the pitch, and how he's carried himself in terms of what's happened to him, racially abused online, in stadiums, and he's carried himself. He's dusted himself off. He's carried on performing consistently for Real Madrid. He single-handedly got them to the Champions League final. His performance in the against Bayern in the semi-final was impeccable. It was single-handedly got them to the final. Won them the league, and it's almost as if they've determined this Ballon d'Or awards thing over international. Rodri winning the Euros of Spain, but Rodri wasn't even Spain's best player throughout the tournament. It was, Lamine Yamal. It was Fabian Ruiz. You could argue had better tournaments than Rodri. Rodri won the Premier League. And if Rodri was going to win it, he could have won it last season. I thought Vinicius was the outright outstanding candidate. But then again, there's an argument to be made that this is political. Real Madrid are in a bit of a riff or a scuffle with UEFA, and that's kind of affected their decision to not make Vinicius winner. Who knows? For me, it's just silly. It's just ridiculous for me, personally. just because Real Madrid are in a beef or in a bit of an argument with the UEFA or FIFA, that shouldn't take away from what Vinicius has done on the pitch throughout 2024. He's deserved the award. Um, he's been outstanding in every facet. Whether he, whether because of his actions on the pitch, and how people may perceive that he's too outgoing, he's too out there, he's not classy, or he's not I think that's ridiculous. When you're facing as much adversity as he has, you only going to react in a way that I'm fighting against this, and that's how he's reacted. Every match, when he's trying to round up the support of the Real Madrid crowd, it's brilliant. It's what you want to see as a football fan. It's what you want to see as a neutral. You know, um, and I thought he was going to win it. I was even telling people last week of saying Vinicius is going to win it. He's going to win it. He has to win it. But then this happened. Then finding out the reasons as to why um, he may not win it. It's disappointing for me. I don't want to say. I don't want to say I don't want to see defensive players winning it. Defensive players are just as important as attacking players. Um, but we just came from an era where Ronaldo and Messi, were winning Ballon d'Ors upon Ballon d'Ors, and yeah, they were scoring 50 goals a season. Vinicius isn't doing that, but Vinicius is you know his performance, the way he just enlightened everyone, enlightened football fans, brought the sense of Ronaldo and Messi and Neymar, skillful, changing the game, um, changing matches single-handedly, impacting, winning the trophies. You just thought, yeah, the Ballon d'Or's got to be given to him. He's done more than Rodri has this season. He's won more. But it just seems like it's been determined by international honors. Rodri winning the Euros, and Brazil not doing well in the Copa America. I hope that's not the case. I really hope that's not the case. But yeah, it's a shame. But at the same time, we got to congratulate Rodri. Impeccable player, phenomenal, outrageous, exceptional, wonderful, wonderful to watch. Does everything you want as a number six. Everything you want as a defensive midfielder. Rodri does to an outstanding standard, to a consistent standard. His consistency levels, but not just his performances on the pitch, his character. Is he's humble, professional. Um, um, the way he's led by example. He's a leader in the dressing room. And then when you're as good as he is on a pitch, and you have all of that, you're the complete player, the complete athlete. And yeah, tremendous props to him. Congratulations to him. Truly deserved. Um, and it's nice to see a Premier League player pick up the Ballon d'Or. It's really, really, really nice to see a Premier League player pick up the Ballon d'Or. It would have been even better to see a black player win it. Vinicius would have been the first black player since Ronaldinho in 2005. But that's been taken away from him, or taken away from us. But yeah, it's a shame. But at the same time, got to congratulate Rodri for winning it. But yeah, I just hope it's not because it's not because of what's going on with Real Madrid and UEFA. I just hope it's not because of what they deem Vinicius's actions, or not acting in a classy way, or not acting in a fair way in terms of how he's acting on the pitch, how he's conducting himself on the pitch. Because if that is the case, I think that's ridiculous. Um, you know, um, and I don't want the Ballon d'Or to be a political ploy, something that's the prestigiousness has just gone. I really just hope that's not the case. You like to see players who have done extremely well over the course of the year deservedly go up and win the award. Rodri deserves it, but I do feel Vinicius was the outright the right candidate, the right winner. He won more, he did more for his team. Um, and yeah, he didn't win it. It's a shame. But we move. It happens. I hope and then um, moving on to the fact that Real Madrid made a statement saying that they're not going to attend the award ceremony, which is a bit petty. Real Madrid trying to make it about them. Uh, advising the likes of Vinicius, Bellingham, Carvajal, you know, any of their players not to attend the ceremony, which I thought was a bit petty. I felt was selfish. I felt was not classy in the slightest. Going against everything footballers are supposed to be, or a club is supposed to be. I did find that it's wrong. But yeah, you don't want football to be governed by politics. We don't want football to be led by political outcries, and we don't want football to be led by these political beefs between Real Madrid and UEFA. Those at the top at Real Madrid, and it's got to be about the football. It's got to be about the players. It's a shame that all this is happening, but at the same time, I get again, Rodri, given the circumstances, fantastic player, deserved, and yeah, hope he recovers well from his injury as well. We know he's going to miss the rest of the season, but yeah, truly deserved. Tremendous player, tremendous talent, and maybe this could affect his going to Real Madrid in the future. We know Real Madrid are huge admirers. We know Real Madrid love see him as the ideal candidate to lead the midfielder over the net for the next next few years. They want to sign him hopefully next summer or season afterwards, especially given the injury. But yeah, could this all that's going on in terms of the Ballon d'Or, could that hamper, could that affect Real Madrid's decision to buy him next summer? We'll see. But it's interesting subplot, interesting potential outcome that could happen, that could arise. But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, a lot to mull on in terms of football. I've discussed United. Ten Hag had to go, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm impressed by how INEOS are moving right now. People could say it's too quick. Are they rushing into the decision? But we know they would have made a we know INEOS would have done their research. It would have been data led. It would have been data driven. They would have the recruitment staff would have analyzed and not hastily come to a decision that Amorim is the right manager. This would have been decided over a long stretch of from the summer, really, when they should have really have sacked Ten Hag. They would have. I do believe they would have thought then that Amorim was the right manager, was the right candidate to take over. It's a shame that it's gotten to getting to November now and they've made the decision now. But yeah, if this appointment was to happen, I'll be very, very happy, very, very happy United fan. If this was to happen, and I'll be massively, massively anticipating every game. As I wasn't on the Ten Hag, man. I'll be honest and say that I didn't watch every game. When United were on TV, I couldn't be bothered to watch us. That's how bad it got. But I hope that I'm. It feels like a weight has been lifted, which I'm sorry to say because I'm never one. I'm never one to call for a manager to be sacked, but it feels like a weight has been lifted now that Ten Hag is gone. It feels like I've got my club back, which is sad for me to say. Even saying that, I feel so guilty. But yeah, when you're unhappy over your team's performances and inconsistencies, something's got to give. Yeah, I'm happy INEOS have come to this decision, however late it's been, however, um, the wrong timing. It should have been done earlier. Um, it, Ten Hag is gone, so let's try and move forward now. Let's try and you know build again, build a project again. Um, and yeah, I love Amorim. He's young, he's impressionable, he's charismatic. He's the perfect manager for us to have for a long stretch of time. That's what I want. A manager who I can believe in. Who I believe. Yes, we may be losing 2 or 3 games in a row, but I see the plan. I see the vision. And if he does get the job, I'll be praying. I'll be praying and hoping. You know, and I'm believing that he is the right man. He is the right man for the role. But yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for hearing me out. Thank you for hearing me rant on these topics. Hopefully there'll be another episode out before the game week 10 of the Premier League. I did forget to discuss the Barcelona Real Madrid game, which was hugely impressive from Barcelona's point of view. I thought Barcelona were impeccable. I thought they were fantastic. Rafinha, Lewandowski's finishing, goodness me. Alejandro Balde at left back. Pau Kubasi. Oh, what a talent! What a talent to be playing and performing like he has. You know, playing Bayern, playing the likes of Kane, Elise, Serge Gnabry, Leroy Sané, dominating them guys, and then 4 days later doing it again up against Mbappe and Vinicius, Bellingham. Um, you know, fan. What? How old is it? 17-year-old, 17-year-old to be doing that in the space of 4 days at the elite level against the elite clubs. Pau Kubasi is the real deal. The real deal. Um, Excellent young talent. He's got all the tools to be one of the best of his generation. Um, the way he plays out the back, like he's a seasoned professional. The way he manipulates the way he manipulates the opposition's structure in terms of he, you know he finds the right movements. He knows when to receive. He knows the right moments to pick a pass and progress the ball. Um, the way he line breaks, the breaking lines of his passing, the way he's reading of the game is exceptional as well, at an exceptional level for an 17-year-old. The way he defends wide spaces, he's also decent in the air, especially he's not the tallest, but he's got a spring on him. He can jump. A fantastic defender. At 17 to be running out superlatives for him right now is immense. Imagine what he could do in a few years. Imagine the levels he will reach in a few years. Pau Kubasi, one to watch for Barcelona. We know already Lamine Yamal, incredible player. I think he's got to be the best 17-year-old winger I've ever seen. Arguably better than Messi was at that age. And I know it's a huge comment to make, but Lamine Yamal is special. Special player. And the thing is, it doesn't matter what state Barcelona are in it. If they're trying to control the game to possession, if they're trying to be transitional based as they was against Real Madrid, I thought they were the attacks were impressive. It doesn't matter what kind of game state Barcelona are in terms of how they're trying to breach the opposition. Lamine Yamal will always find the right moments or find the right levels of consistency to create something out of nothing, whether transitions, whether in a positional possession based game. Lamine, he's always effective. Hansi Flick has found the right ingredients for Barcelona. Even complementing Lewandowski. Lewandowski's not as physical. He's not able to run the channels as he usually was. And he needs runners around him, and he's got that in Rafinha. But he's also got a consistent creator in Lamine Yamal, 17-year-old to be doing the things he's doing on the pitch, like Pau Kubasi. Barcelona never ever run out of talent. Marc Casado, who I thought was excellent alongside Pedri, um, against Real Madrid, and he's been excellent for a number of weeks now. Um, you know, especially given the fact that he wasn't supposed to be a first teamer under Hansi Flick. Casado's only in the team because of Mark Bernal, Frankie De Jong have been injured. You know, Mark Bernal's out for a long stretch of time because of the ACL. De Jong was injured. You know, so Casado was brought in on the fly, and look how he's performing. Just goes to show how special Barcelona's academy is right now. Tremendous talents on their hands. Inigo Martinez is performing. He's showing why Barcelona paid money for him. It's showing why Barcelona paid, despite his age, despite his experience. Um, incredible levels Hansi Flick has got them playing to. I think I said in my last episode that Barcelona are not just playing good football; they're also playing. They're also intense. They're also aggressive. They're also fiery. They're also um, they're bullies. They're bullies now under Hansi Flick. You know, at times on the Xavi, they were soft. He could reach them so easily. And I also said that this Barcelona is better than the Barcelona that won the league with Xavi, and you know we're seeing facets of that. We're seeing the amount of players, the players that are playing so well under Hansi Flick. Incredible job he's doing. I did think Real Madrid were poor on the night. I do think Real Madrid, their patterns of play weren't there. Easily breached in midfield. Tchouameni wasn't playing at the levels we know he can reach. Camavinga wasn't at his best. Jude Bellingham, playing different roles for 90 minutes didn't help him. Although he can do those roles to an exceptional level, it just wasn't his day. Mbappe's runs and timing of his runs were so poor. Barcelona's high line, he could have done so much more. He could have at least taken 2 yards back and still breached, still been managed to get onside. I thought him and Vinicius were were poor in terms of the timing of their runs and all that stuff. I think they were too rushed. They were too they weren't as structured as Ancelotti would have hoped. They weren't as patient and as probed as Ancelotti would have hoped. And there's a disappointing results for Real Madrid on the night. But yeah, what a performance from Barcelona! I was massively impressed, massively impressed, and I, I love Barcelona again. Not that I didn't like them under Xavi, but I just thought they were breachable. I just thought they were too soft. I just thought they weren't as aggressive and as intense as they are now, and this is why I love Barcelona again right now. A credit to Hansi Flick. A huge well done to him. I hope this is something that is sustained over the most of the season, especially in the Champions League. Especially players are coming back now. Frankie De Jong is back, who had an excellent cameo. I thought when Barcelona needed to control the game, when Real Madrid were picking up momentum, Frankie De Jong kept the ball really well, as we know he usually does. But yeah, really good game. Really fantastic game. But yeah, that's enough from me. I've taken up too much of your time. But yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for hearing me out. Thank you for hearing me discuss the main talking points, the huge talking points in football right now. And as I said before, hopefully another episode will be out discussing and previewing the game week 10 from the Premier League. If not, I'll be reviewing it. I'll be debriefing. But yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for hearing me out, and thank you. God bless.